What is up, everybody? Back with another top 10, and this time we're crossing over into the 2000s, Y2K. I've completed all of the years in the 80s and 90s, also did 75, 2019, and 2020, so eventually I want to have every year since 1975 done, but 2000, really good year. I've got like 25 albums I've been trying to narrow down for a while. Just my opinion as usual. Here we go.
In the mirrors on the wall, with the cautious standing tall, I see misery, look at me.
Starting off the list at number 10 is House of God by King Diamond. Really cool stuff here. Of course, King on vocals sounds amazing as usual. One of the absolute best singers in all of metal. Andy LaRocque is there on guitar, of course. He's been on every single King Diamond album. Great player. This one actually does feature as a second guitarist Glenn Drover, who's fantastic as well. So really good guitar duo. Great playing all over the album. Looking at these songs, there's 13 tracks. The opening little like 1.5 minute song, Upon the Cross, is super dark and evil sounding, sets the mood and atmosphere of the album. Then it transitions into The Trees Have Eyes, which is probably the most popular song on the album. Really good stuff. Title track is amazing. Black Devil. The Pact is really cool, and probably Help is actually my favorite song on here. Just amazing guitar playing throughout that one. The melodies, the riffs, the freaking chorus is amazing. King's voice just sounds fantastic on that one. But yeah, really good album here. House of God, number 10. Next up at number 9 is Reinventing the Steel by Pantera. Good stuff here. It was, unfortunately, their last album. It's got that great classic lineup of Phil Anselmo on vocals, Vinnie Paul on drums, Rex Brown on bass, and of course Dimebag Darrell on guitar, who is one of my all-time favorites. Love his tone. His riffs on this album are great. Super freaking heavy album. It's Pantera. You know, they kind of got heavier as they went, or they tried to at least. So arguably, I'd say this is their heaviest. Not their best by any means, but Hellbound is really good. Goddamn Electric, one of the better songs on the album. Yesterday Don't Mean Shit. Revolution Is My Name is probably the biggest, most well-known song from the album. It's got a cool music video to go along with it. It Makes Them Disappear is another cool one that I like a lot. But yeah, good album here. Pantera, Reinventing the Steel, number 9. Coming in at number 8 is Magica by Dio. Now, with this album, I've seen some kind of divided opinions on it. Some people love it, but I've also seen a fair amount of people say that they don't like it, and I don't really get that, honestly, because I think there's a lot to like here. It's heavy, it's dark, it's kind of doomy. Love the atmosphere of it. You got freaking Craig Goldie coming back after Tracy G was on a couple albums previous to this. Got Jimmy Bain on bass, Simon Wright on the drums, and of course, Ronnie James Dio on vocals. One of the absolute best singers of all time. I think I rank him number 2, greatest metal singer of all time. So he sounds great on this. Lord of the Last Day is one of the best Dio songs of all time. Super heavy and awesome. Fever Dreams, just looking at this. Turn to Stone, Feed My Head is really good. Charles is a good song, but honestly, I think it takes some influence from Cat Scratch Fever. Listen to that opening riff by Ted Nugent. Sounds kind of similar to that, but overall, this is a really good, solid album that I dig quite a bit, so it's definitely making my list here at number 8, Magica. Next up at number 7 is Phoenix Rising by Destroyer 666. Amazing black thrash band again here. These guys are from Australia. This album has some super amazing songs. I Am the War God, one of the absolute freaking most epic songs of all time. It'll get you pumped if you're listening to that. Just the guitar melodies are mesmerizing and amazing. Another standout in here, Lone Wolf Winter, kind of can say the same thing about that. Just another super epic, amazing song. KK Warslut, frontman of the band, vocalist, guitarist, is really cool. Great frontman, and overall, it's just a really cool, good album. Phoenix Rising, number 7. Coming in at number 6 is We Are Motorhead, which I took out of the jewel case because it's all cracked up. But really awesome album, heavy stuff. Of course, you got Lemmy on vocals and bass, who one of the best frontmen of all time. Mickey D on the drums, who freaking kills it. And Phil Campbell, who is a great player. A lot of awesome riffs on here. Stay Out of Jail. That is one of the best Motorhead opening riffs and just best riffs in general from them. See Me Burning, the opening track on here, is a freaking speed metal masterpiece. You got the opening drum intro from Mickey D, then it just takes off, super fast, awesome song. Slow Dance, another standout, but really good album here that I did quite a bit, so it's on here. We Are Motorhead, number 6. Next up at number 5 is Nightmare World by the band Eidolon. Now, these guys, I think, are criminally underrated, definitely deserve a lot more attention. This is probably their best album. It is the band that Sean Drover and Glenn Drover were both in before they went on to be in Megadeth. So they're both on here, freaking killing it. Sean's a great drummer. Glenn's an amazing guitar player. A guy named Brian Sollard does the vocals on here, and he's got a really nice melodic voice. Really just great vocals there. And some of the standout tracks on here, I'd say, if you're not familiar with this album, to go check out. Title track to open it up, Lunar Mission and Eye of Illusion. Really amazing. Top to bottom, though, really good, solid stuff. So, Nightmare World, number 5. Coming in at number 4 is Revelation 666, The Curse of Damnation by Old Man's Child. Awesome symphonic black metal band from Norway. They're probably my favorite symphonic black metal band. Galder, it's his band, the guy from Dimmu Borgir. He's the frontman of this band, guitar player, does the keyboards, vocalist, great musician. You know, I think the way that this band incorporates the keyboards in, you know, it doesn't sound cheesy, sounds just freaking majestic and amazing. A lot of great tracks on this album. There's 8 total, but some of the standouts, I'd say, are Hominis Nocturna, probably In Black Endless Void, and the final song, Into Silence Embrace. But top to bottom, really good, consistent stuff here. Revelation 666, number 4. Next up at number 3 is Bloodletting by Overkill. Great album here. It's freaking ridiculous how consistent Overkill's been throughout their career. Great album after great album. Pretty much any year they release an album, they're at least getting an honorable mention. A good chance they're making the list. This one here, I think, is a kind of overlooked album. It is definitely in the better half of their albums. They've got like 20, so definitely top 10 in their discography. First one with Dave Linsk on guitar, which is kind of notable. He's been their guitar player since. He freaking shreds it up. A lot of awesome riffs all over this album. Tim Malaire, I think is how his name's pronounced, is on drums, and he freaking kills it. And of course, Bobby Blitz on the vocals, who's great as always, and Dee Dee Verney on bass, who I think has a really good, unique style. Looking at these songs, dude, there is just great song after great song. But Bleed Me, What I'm Missing, Death Comes Out to Play, Let It Burn's awesome, I Hurricane. Really could just list all these, but you know, probably Death Comes Out to Play and What I'm Missing are my 2 favorites. Just great, consistent album here. Overkill, Bloodletting, number 3. Coming in at number 2 is The Black Opera by the band Opera 9. So this is a really cool Italian metal band that at this point was blending several different styles. Melodic black metal with symphonic metal and gothic metal. Just love that combination of styles, which a lot of bands were kind of doing in the late 90s, early 2000s. Amazing vocals from a girl named Cadaveria, who sings in like several different styles. At times it's that typical classic harsh black metal style, and at times she sounds like an 80s thrash metal vocalist, you know, just that typical raspy kind of thing. And then there's some like really nice clean parts she does as well. Just a really awesome voice and singer who unfortunately got diagnosed with cancer, I saw in 2018. So hopefully she gets better. Hopefully she overcomes that. But looking at these songs, The First Spell is amazing to open it up. Beyond the Black Diamond Gates is another standout. And probably Carnal Delight and The Vortex of Evil are my couple favorites. But just super awesome, amazing stuff. If you like Cradle of Filth, stuff like that, definitely give this a listen. The Black Opera by Opera 9, my number 2 for the year 2000. And I'm going to run through a pretty decently long list of honorable mentions because there was a ton of really good albums that I had to leave off that didn't quite make it. A couple of them here, I think like 13. His Majesty by Svartson, Strange Old Brew by Carpathian Forest, which is really good, kind of thrashy black metal. Kill for Satan by Shooter is really cool. Ritual Satanum by Behexen, which is a really freaking evil Finnish black metal band. Brave New World, of course, by Iron Maiden. I've always thought this album was a tad overrated. I don't love it, but it is still pretty good. Ghost of the Navigator and the title track on this are definitely my favorites. Resurrection by Halford, which was kind of a nice return to form after that atrocious project he did in like 98 with John 5. It was weird as hell, but that was a really good return to form. Murder by Gehenna, which is a black metal band from Norway, but on this album they went kind of like a death metal style. Cool album. Ancient Wars by the band Lyre of Golgotha. Really good kind of obscure black metal album there. War to End All Wars by Yngwie Malmsteen. Necrodaemon Terror Sathan by Belphegor. Cool blackened death metal band and album here. A couple more. I got Rabid Death's Curse by Watain, which I have on vinyl, but not next to me right now. And Damned in Black by Immortal, which is really great, like blackened thrash metal, or whatever you want to call it, black thrash. But yeah, a lot of good albums there. And on to my number one. Taking the number one spot is Midian by Cradle of Filth. Absolutely love this band. If you've seen some of my previous videos, they did take the number one spot in 96 for Dusk and Her Embrace, and 98 with Cruelty and the Beast. Here again, they're at number one. Amazing 3-run album stretch they had there. This one, of course, the musicianship is freaking top-notch as usual. Danny Filth sounds amazing on vocals as usual, and it's got Paul Allender on lead guitar, who came back to the band like a year previous to this. He was originally in the band from 92 to 95, then came back for about 15 years, starting with this album, which he's a great player. Looking at some of these songs, dude, freaking Cthulhu Dawn is amazing. Death Magic for Adepts, another favorite, and probably Her Ghost in the Fog, Lord Abortion as well. Really top to bottom, amazing album, and this is the one that kind of helped me get into black metal. Of course, it's not completely black metal with this album, but there's elements of it, and then from here on, I went to like Dissection, and then just went into like freaking a bunch of different black metal. But yeah, this is kind of the first blackish metal album that I really got into, so really love it. It's got a nice special place in my heart here. So Midian is number one for me of 2000, and as usual, I'd like to know what y'all thought. Give me your lists in the comments, and until next time, thank you for watching.